Hello, and welcome to Digital Communicators. This is an advanced online Toastmaster club focused on digital tools. Today, as you can see, we are live on YouTube because we believe in the power of video, the power that helps us to become better online presenters. Be aware that if you are in this room, you accept that your footage might or might not be used for marketing purposes. And without delay, let me introduce you to the president of this Advanced Toastmaster Club, Nick Lacani.
Thank you very much, Julian. Welcome to everybody in the room today. This is Digital Communicators, and what we do is we start on time and we finish on time. And we have some wonderful prepared speakers today. We have some table topics and the evaluations. We have a jam-packed full of an agenda jam-packed full of goodies for you. As president, I just want to say a couple of things to you all. First of all, I'm so happy with this club, so proud of this club, that for the last two meetings, we had a contest and we've had our charter party. Both went fantastically well, well attended, really well run. And thanks to Colette and all the people behind the scenes, so well done to everybody. And for those of you who don't really know, who weren't there, who missed anything, have a look at the blog on the website. Take a look and see what you missed. There's a lot of people in this room who put in an awful lot of work to put on a great show. So thank you to everybody in there, in the club. Now, let's move on with today. We have a Toastmaster of the Day, all the way from Estonia. Is it sunny Estonia? Probably not now. Not sunny Estonia. Please give it up for Toastmaster of the Day, Hillary Torn.
Thank you so much, Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, welcome. I'm excited to be your Toastmaster of the Day. Today's theme, we will be talking about our tech tales of terror. We all know that technology can be our best friend, but sometimes it can be our worst nightmare. I will share a personal story that happened to me recently. I was on a call with an amazing consultant, getting some amazing business advice. And right when the call started, he said, "Hey, what about recording this call for the rest of your team?" Genius, easy enough to do. I have quick time, I can pull it together. So quickly as we were talking, boom, I started recording the call. After 45 minutes of amazing conversation, I hung up with him saying, "Thank you so much, I can't wait to show my team." And I go to the recording and find out I recorded no sound. Everything was gone. What I thought was gonna be my best friend and so helpful to my team ended up completely crashing into something useless. Luckily, I took good notes, the old-fashioned way. It's always good to have a backup when it comes to technology. Tonight, you will hear 3 amazing speakers, and you will hear some amazing impromptu speeches. Throughout tonight, though, you will also be reminded of some of the more terrifying situations that technology leaves us. So our first role I would like to introduce you is a very important role for helping us stay on time. Her tech tale of terror is familiar, I'm sure, to all of us. We all love our smart TV. But I ask you, how smart can a TV really be when it takes not 2, but 3 remotes to be able to actually watch what you want to watch. Her worst nightmare, and I'd say all of our nightmares, is to have a night to yourself, ready to relax in front of Netflix and not being able to work the dang TV because there's so many remotes going on. So without further ado, please welcome Colette Ainscough.
Thank you, Hilary. It's so true. And my tech nightmare is happening again. Look at me. Okay. Mr. President, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guest Erica. I am your timer for this evening, and my role is a very important one, and I'm really fitting it well. I am going to try and screen share the colours. So in a speech of 7 minutes, we have 3 indicators to help the speakers along. When the speaker gets to 5 minutes, I would show a green screen. Can you see it there? When the speaker gets to 6 minutes, I would show a yellow screen. And when the speaker gets to 7 minutes, I would show a red screen. Now, also, I will carry out the same format for the evaluators at 2 minutes, at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and at 3 minutes. And I will report back later on in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Colette. Excellent. So our next role is another very important role. We are all here in this club, not only to wrangle technology and to learn how to control our technology a bit better, but also to get a grasp and understand how we can use the English language even more powerfully. So without further ado, I introduce to you our grammarian, Antonio Harrison, who's going to share her own tech tale of terror. Antonia, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Yes, I have a tech tale of horror to tell you. Many years ago, in the days of floppy disks, for those people who are old enough to remember them, my first husband put a floppy disk in a PS2 that we had. This floppy disk had our entire business on it. And he put it in, and the question on the screen was, do you want to format this disk? And he said, yes. And then it said, are you sure you want to format this disk? And he said, yes. Can you imagine? I'm not a very patient person. Our entire business was on one disk. Needless to say, that marriage did not last very long. Fellow Toastmasters and very welcome guests, tonight I am going to give you a challenge. I have found a list. Well, first of all, I will tell you that the words hashtag, podcast, emoji, and streaming were words that we didn't know a few years ago. In fact, they weren't even real words, but they're now part of pretty much our everyday language. So somebody has come up with a list of 20 new tech words, which I am going to put in the chat for you to download and have a look at later at your leisure. I have chosen one of these words for you, and that is coming up on the screen. Just a moment. I just have to call it up. And this is the problem, is that it's not coming up where I want it to be. Just a moment. Right. Normally these things are where they're supposed to be on the screen, but this one isn't. Oh, hang on.
This is a nightmare.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Oh, dear. It's even disappeared off my screen now.
You could tell us.
I could tell you, couldn't I? The word is fakeisation. What is a fakeisation? Now, I know that you are all authentic people and you never tell porcupines, but a fakeisation is a fake conversation to pull you out of an unpleasant situation, such as, my date was terrible last night, so I used a fakeisation to leave early. I think that might be challenging for you. Fakeisation, I'll put it in the chat.
Awesome, Antonia. What a fabulous word of the day. Thank you so much. And I have to warn all of you, because tonight's topic is Tech Tales of Terror, it is no doubt going to happen. We're going to have a few tech tales of terror during this meeting. It's just the way life works. Completely expected. So without further ado, let's introduce our first speaker, who has another true horror story when it comes to tech. Imagine you are delivering an online workshop at the Learning Innovation Festival. You just created breakout rooms for all of your participants when, bam, you completely lose your internet connection and you cannot get back to your group. This made her truly a ghost lost in connection. And I'm sure all of us have similar nightmares of it happening to us. So please welcome to the stage Mar Cano with her speech, Eat, Drink, Live. Mar, the floor is yours.
Imagine words of wisdom coming from a very special person in your lives. Close your eyes. Close your eyes for a moment. Bring that exceptional person into your memory. Look into their eyes. Smell their body, their perfume. Listen to their words of wisdom. Open your eyes back again. Have you ever wanted to capture those particular words that person taught you? Eat, drink, live are the 3 words I can recall. Fellow Toastmasters from Digital Communicators and other clubs and dear guests from all over the world, these are 3 words my granny, Esperanza, used to remind me, and all her granddaughters over and over again. Even if we are having nightmares at this moment with the screen share, don't worry about it, and let's continue enjoying the speech. Because behind each word, each of those 3 words, there are tons of stories to remember. Among many gifts, my granny was an excellent cook. A full meal never lacked on the table. She went through hard times during the Spanish War. Even stones seemed to be yummy. This is why every day and every meal, there were a chance to enjoy a full meal. I remember all the family gathering around the dining table, eating her delicious paellas. I remember those afternoons playing cards and eating her sponge cakes. And I cannot forget her tasty Spanish omelets made of potatoes, eggs, and a secret ingredient. A pinch of magic powders that she sprinkled all over. Irresistible. That's the way she made all her grandchildren gobble her meals. Besides eating, drinking was key in her life. She was not a heavy drinker at all, but she knew how to enjoy a drink. As she told her doctor once, "Doctor, do you know I take my medicine every day?" "What medicine are you talking about, Señora Esperanza?" She didn't mean the countless pills and tablets she had to take. She referred to something else. She referred to, "I drink a glass of beer every single day. That's my best medicine." And she took it till her last days. "Granny, you know I'm not into beer. I'm more into red wine. Though I don't drink a glass of wine every single day. That's my medicine. Not yet." As she knew it, she always had a good bottle of red wine waiting for me whenever I visited her on Wednesdays, accompanied by some cheese, Spanish ham, and olives. And we would have interesting conversations which would end with her telling me, "My dear granddaughter, live your life fully. You are single, you are young, do whatever you want, go wherever you like, and be happy." As a mother of 5, my father among them, and a working class woman of her time, her life was tough, pretty tough, very tough. What made her become a strong, calm, and respectful fighter? With the pass of time, her life turned to a little bit smoother, let's say. As a child, she didn't have the opportunity to go to school. She had to work very, very hard from a very early age. But when she was an adult, she attended Catalan lessons in the school for adults in our neighborhood. Her Catalan teacher even told her once, "Esperanza, if you had been born in this area, you would have a great professional career." What makes me think she did have a career, an exceptional career as mother of 5, a grandma of 7, and a great grandmother of 4, 3 generations behind. Now, looking at my life, I can say I have no such a similar career as she did, but I have built an academic and professional career, maybe for both of us, as I have 2 bachelor degrees and 2 master's degrees. And I still have tried to live my life by her words. Live life fully, enjoy the moment. Honestly, between you and me, sometimes I feel like the character in the film Eat, Pray, Love, where Julia Roberts travels to Italy, where she enjoys all those meals, then to India, where she meditates and prays, and to Bali, where she finds love. In my case, I savor meals wherever I travel. I've meditated in India, but I also do it every single day on my bed when I wake up, wherever I am. As for love, that's another chapter in my life. My granny passed away last 20th of September, but her words and her spirit are still alive. These 3 words, eat, drink, live, are my daily mantras. What are your 3 words? Feel free to share them in the chat. And before coming to an end, thank you all here today for making this moment a memorable one, worthy to live. And here's a toast to my granny Esperanza. To you, Granny. Eat, drink, life. Live life fully. Cheers.
Excellent, Mar. Thank you so much. Those are all great words for all of us to live by. Absolutely fabulous. Our next speaker is Audrey Singh Phat, whose greatest tech fear I'm sure we can all relate to: being disconnected from the internet and not being able to connect to the World Wide Web. We are all so used to being connected 24/7. When we're without it, sometimes we feel completely lost. Audrey is going to be doing her level 1 project 2 dynamic leadership entitled Finding Your Why. Audrey, the stage is yours.
Imagine you're a pilot and you're flying an airplane, and you have no idea where you're going, no idea where you're going to land, and the airplane is full of passengers. I think that's a problem. I think it's disastrous. Fellow Toastmasters, friends, and guests, this story is the same as not having a life purpose, not having a clear vision of where you're going, not having a goal. Great leaders like Martin Luther King or Steve Jobs, they all had a vision, they all knew their why. I'm sure you all heard about I have a dream or stay hungry, stay foolish. Now, let's try to understand what is your why. Your why is a statement of purpose that describes why you work, why you do the work you do, and why you live your lifestyle you do. Have you ever heard of Ikigai? Ikigai is a Japanese term for the purpose of life. Iki means life and gai means value. This Japanese term is what makes life worthwhile. The reason you wake up in the morning. The reason why you're still working on a Friday night when all your friends are at the bar drinking beers. The reason why you get out of your comfort zone to help others. Ikigai is a mixture of 4 different areas, 4 different characteristics. So it's what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you're paid for. Now that you understand your why, your Ikigai, finding it's yet another story. It doesn't appear out of nowhere. It requires time and sacrifice. Come on, guys. It's not a secret. There's nothing as a free lunch. Anyway, so finding your Ikigai requires a bit of self-discovery, and everyone's why is hidden in a different place. You are the only one. You are the only one that can find your why. How? I'll give you 3 tips. First one, identify the things that makes others' life better, the things that you can do to make others' life better. This feeling of making a difference in the world or in someone else's life is ultimately the most important thing for your own fulfillment and your own joys. Secondly, think about activities that you enjoy doing and that you don't realize that time is passing by. When you're having fun, times fly. So ask yourself, what do you enjoy in life? Thirdly, enumerate things that you're willing to do an extra mile, regardless the failure or the setback. You still make an effort to get up and try to learn from your previous mistakes. But then you'll ask me, Audrey, why do I need to find my why? Well, I'll tell you something. The question that you ask yourself will determine the course of your life. Do you want to be the driver of your life or the passenger of your life? Well, I decided that I voted that I wanted to be the driver. Life is too short, so I want to create a life based on passion, mission, vocation, and profession. When I have a purpose, I find the energy, I find the courage to use my superpower to get out of my comfort zone. When you live a life with sense of purpose, you begin to live with a lot of positivity, and then you'll find out that new opportunities will come to you. Dalai Lama said, with realization of one's own potential and self-confidence in one's ability, one can build a better world. One can build a better world. Over to you.
Beautiful, Audrey. That is such a great message and great inspiration for all of us to find our why. Our final speaker is a speech you may have heard before. This is another practice run of this speech for the Area 32 final. So I said you may have heard this speech before, but it has been much refined and altered. And any suggestions for further improvement and change will be most gratefully accepted. Dec Kluski understands that Digital Communicators is a diverse, multicultural audience, and all feedback has been taken into consideration for this improved version of this contest speech. So let's give Dec Kluski our undivided attention for his engaging your audience with humor speech, Cabernet Sauvignon. Please welcome Dec Kluski to the stage.
Hello. Before we start, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and very welcome guests, I just want to ask a few questions. Do you get nervous? Do you get tense? Did you join Toastmasters because you wanted to get more confidence? If you answered yes to any of these questions, I want you to go down to your local Toastmasters. No, your local Toastmasters, I'm talking rubbish here. Go down to your local supermarket and ask for the new wonder drug, the most amazing, the terrific, the sensational Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon is the easy, natural way to feel better. More confident? It will tell you that you're ready. It will say to you that you are now a new and wonderful person, a tremendous person. I take it regularly. I fall down a lot. I don't drink much, really. I spill a lot. But you can, within minutes of taking this wonderful drug, is medication. You can feel younger. Men feel more virile. Ladies feel more alluring. Men and women get a warm feeling, a glow of serene, sensuous sophistication. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful wellness. You discover many talents that you didn't know you had. For instance, men, you can go into a snooker room. You can walk up to a snooker player. You can take a snooker cue and you can play his shot. Be careful though. You could end up in an ambulance on the way to accident and emergency. Ladies, you can go into the ladies' room. That lovely young girl. You can take her lipstick and put it all over your lips, on your cheeks if you want. Again, you may end up in an ambulance on the way to accident emergency. Mind you, the red and the blue lights can be very interesting. Sirens are a bit annoying. If you don't like traveling fast, don't do it. So, stop sniveling and start living! Cabernet Sauvignon! Cabernet Sauvignon may not be right for some people. For instance, ladies who are pregnant, ladies who are nursing. Although, ladies, if you fancy being pregnant, or if you fancy nursing, give it a try. Then, side effects can include droopiness, drowsiness, projectile vomiting, imprisonment, loss of balance, loss of shirt, loss of wallet, loss of teeth, loss of dignity, loss of virginity. That's for men and for women. A belief that you are God. A belief and a desire to sing loudly and to play naked twister with total strangers. Some who have taken it to excess have complained that faces slip about a bit. Wake up in strange beds very far from your home. Lose your car keys in a poker game with a 10-year-old. And falling down a lot. Contraindications, or contraindicaciones, as we say when we're drinking Spanish. Now, the consumption of Cabernet Sauvignon may make you feel you're speaking ever so quietly, when in fact you're shouting very loudly. The consumption of Cabernet Sauvignon may cause you to tell a police person over and over, I really love you. The consumption of Cabernet Sauvignon may make you feel that you can walk on water. Oh, I totally forgot. It could make you into an alcoholic, cause your whole family to fall apart, It can take over your life. It can wreck your life. It can wreck your health. It can wreck your family. It can wreck your finances. It can create a life of misery for all those around you. The alcoholism can gradually creep up on you, or it can switch on like a light switch in your brain at any age. You'll have no control over it. It's a permanent, pernicious, persistent disease. There is no known cure. Is there a message in all this? Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Cabernet Sauvignon. It can be a wonder drug. Is it waiting to come along? But it can lead to an incredible, ghastly living in a squat, untimely death and a lonely funeral. Unimportant, celebrant saying unimportant words, absent flowers, bitterly cold. So, contest chair, fellow Toastmasters, guests. This has been a humorous speech, but this subject is definitely not funny.
Thank you so much, Deck. I have to say, it was a very humorous speech with a perhaps not so, or a more serious ending. And I'm not sure that wonder drug is quite worth taking with all the side effects you listed. Excellent. And now it is time for our timer report. Colette, are you ready for a short timers report?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Hilary, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Our first speaker was Marcano, and her speech was Eat, Drink, Live, and her time was 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Our second speaker was Audrey Singh Phat, and her speech was entitled Finding Your Why, and Audrey came in at 6 minutes and 9 seconds. And our third speaker was Dex Kluski, and Dex's speech, Cabernet Sauvignon, came in at 7 minutes and 49 seconds. Thank you.
Thank you, Paulette. Our next section, I would have to say, is perhaps one of the scarier parts of Toastmasters. Nothing can be scarier than asking to speak without any preparation in front of so many people. What a perfect segment for Tech Tales of Terror. I'm excited to introduce to you our table topics monster, who has a very terrifying tale indeed. We all love watching Netflix in bed. And what is better than our portable device? An iPad is perfect. You can slip it under your pillow and fall asleep when you get tired. But what happens when you swap this iPad for a laptop? Perhaps to have a little bit better presentation and presence in Toastmasters. Watching Netflix in bed, you're starting to doze off. So you slip your headphones and your laptop, shut the case, and put it underneath your pillow to wake up the next morning with a completely cracked screen, and all right before the International Speech Contest. This is the nightmare our table topics monster, Ishrat Bundhan, lived herself. Ishrat, welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Hilary, for this introduction. I cannot tell you what that experience did to me. It was absolutely horrific. Well, fellow Toastmasters, tonight I will be carrying out the table topics in an unusual way, in a way that Toastmaster Julian shared with us at our last Toastmasters session. So I will be delivering table topics tonight in a Pecha Kucha way. Now, Pecha Kucha is a Japanese concept, and it is a presentation in a format that uses 20 slides or images that are displayed for 20 seconds each. Except that for table topics tonight, instead of having 20 images, we're only going to have 6 images so we can fit in the 2-minute slot. Now the slides will move automatically as the ones I'll be choosing will be speaking. This format will ensure that the speaker is concise, keeps the presentation moving, and gets through all their content. So technically, you will start speaking as soon as the first image appears. Now, given that my time has been increased to 25 minutes, I will be having a few Pecha Kucha style table topics and a few other traditional table topics questions. Now, let's see who I'm going to target as my first speaker. Let's start with President Nick. So
Okay,
we are in a digital age. Can you hear me, Nick?
Yes.
Excellent. Now we are in a digital age, more so than ever before. What do you think could be the dangers that we face with all those technological tools available? So I'll be showing the pictures and you will start speaking as soon as the first image appears. And at the end of the 6th image, you can stop speaking then, after 20 seconds.
Okay.
Please.
Well, first of all, we've got our kids addicted to all this tech, don't we? Can you imagine? My kids learned to actually play the iPad before they could walk. And look at this VR speciality. I mean, let's live with real life. Forget virtual reality. Let's get into reality. Now, waiting for the next one, I want you to think, which room shall we go down? Now, this is the question we asked is, we have so many tools amongst us, so many choices. We don't know which door to go through. We're scared. We're confident. We're scared. We're scared to go through it. We're scared because we don't know what's on the other side. Well, in the first room, there are sparklers and sparkly lights. And this is the tool that we wanted, digital tool that we really absolutely wanted. It's like Prezi. And what it's going to do is going to change our life totally. We just switch on a light, don't we? It's just one switch. Well, don't know about that. It may transport you to the Badlands in Star Trek. And you may get into all sorts of scrapes because you pressed the wrong switch. Did you press the right switch? Did you know what it did? Well, you just followed the instructions, didn't you? And then you walked up, you ran across a robot. This is Robbie's younger cousin, Charlie. Now, Robbie was in a previous sci-fi movie, sci-fi show, but Charlie himself has a problem. Only one eye is lit up. Why is that? I don't know. Maybe his coding is wrong. Look, let's sample his coding and his DNA behind the scenes, and let's see if we can actually spot any bugs working through. Can you see the 4 and the B and the Y right in the center there? Perhaps that should be 4YB. Let's change it. Let's change the code.
Brilliant, Nick. That was amazing. Amazing. I don't know how you pulled that off. Now, let's choose our next target? Andrew, would you like to have a go? There isn't much of us, many of us here tonight. So even though you already have a role, I'll have to pick on you, I'm afraid.
You can pick on me. Well, Monster TT Master, quick question. Are we having any evaluations of the table topics?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me just, Mar, would you care to give a quick evaluation of Toastmaster Nick Lacani?
Sure, definitely. Dear President, how did you succeed to tell us that story? You showed how creative you can be when it comes to putting together images and tech, or tech stories, or tech nightmares. And you did it just making sure that all the slides were connected with each other. So I think that I could say congratulations to you for that, because you really succeeded in that sense. As for maybe some recommendations, whenever we are delivering an impromptu speech, even if it's impromptu or a prepared speech, gestures can also help a lot. And we could only see one part of you. So maybe if you could have express yourself using your hands, using your facial expression in some other ways, so we could see the terror in some moments, or maybe the light. Yeah, so maybe those could have helped us to take us and to go with you in that story and those words you put together. So thank you very much. I think that it was a good challenge and that you succeeded in it. Back to you, table topic monster.
Thank you very much, Mar. So now we move on to our next target, our next speaker, and that would be you, Toastmaster Andrew. You get the gist of it. As soon as you see the pictures, you start talking. Now, my question is, October is a month close to my heart, a month of celebrations and birthdays, one of which is Halloween on the 31st of October. A celebration some of us either hate to love or love to hate. I would love to hear about one of your Halloween experiences.
Pumpkins? I can't bear pumpkins. The mere sight of a pumpkin brings me out in great big orange blotchy spots. I can't stand pumpkins. And why is that? Because it reminds me of Halloween. And Halloween is certainly the scariest festival of the year. Now, I'm somebody who's scared of absolutely everything. There you go. There it comes again. Ishrat, you must have chosen these topic master just to frighten me to death this evening. Look at that pumpkin. Look at that face. It reminds me, in fact, a little bit of my first headmaster at school. Very similar facial features. You've got the eye, oh, the eyes. Look at the eyes, the cut of the eyes, and the mouth, the crinkly mouth when he was always telling us off and shouting. And yes, I am quite convinced that he was actually, in his spare time, a werewolf. And he used to howl at the moon every single night. He was so scary. He was extremely hairy, you know, he had big hairy arms. When you're a little child, you notice these things. And sometimes, yes, he might have been turned into a black cat. Maybe he had a black cat. Maybe his wife was a witch. How do we know? She may have had a black cat that sat on the branch and looked at us. And you know, in England, by October, the evenings are getting darker. And when you come home from school, it's dark. When you go to school, it's dark. So there may have been a cat on the branch. And look, he's getting really angry. Look, it's Mr. Evans, it's my headmaster, and he's steaming with anger. What on earth have I done to provoke this anger? And I was always so good, you know. You believe me, digital communicators, don't you? This is a wholly terrifying experience of Halloween. And that is how I am going to look after the end of this table topic, because you've frightened me to death. That was truly terrifying experience. Topics master, I think that must be all the pictures too. So I'm terrified to death. You can see I'm a skeleton after that.
Brilliant, Andrew. Loved it. Pam, would you be kind enough to give Andrew a 1-minute evaluation?
I will, thank you. That was the perfect lesson in impromptu speaking. You'd think it was a prepared speech. Whatever picture came up, Andrew just came up with something and rolled with it. It was absolutely brilliant. You even had a shadow on your screen that looked like it was partly Halloween. I don't think that was intentional, but it worked brilliantly. It's doing it right now. So yeah, a perfect example of how to do a scary table topic. Thank you. Back to you, Ishrat.
Thank you, Pam. Now let's see who else. Hilary, would you like to do the next one?
Do I have a choice?
No, you don't. So you got the hang of it, right? As soon as the first picture shows, you get into it. So you decide to plan and go on your dream adventure holiday and intend to bring back home memories to show off.
Going on my dream adventure holiday. The first part of the adventure is going to be getting my husband on that plane to join me and make these memories. As terrifying as technology can be, airplanes seem to terrify my husband even more. Would we want to go camping as part of our adventure? I spent lots of time camping in my 20s when I was touring Europe on a dual sport motorcycle. I think my camping days are a bit over. I'd rather be a typical tourist with a big camera around my neck, taking pictures of beautiful architecture in the city and classic monuments. It may not be the typical adventure for everyone, but it's something I would want to do to be able to bring memories back. Making sure I have multiple SD cards, because we all know how quickly that camera can fill up when traveling the world. Luckily though, we all seem to have a camera in our back pocket, and that would be our smartphone. And it's amazing what kind of pictures a smartphone can take and the quality they bring out. But as we all know tonight, technology can be our best friend and our worst nightmare. And that can happen when our battery completely dies. So we don't have a camera. We're out a smartphone. What are we to do? Back to you.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you. Dick, would you love to give 1 minute evaluation to Hilary? Yes.
I personally thought that was quite special. It's not easy, this format. I watched it quite a bit in its major form, in the big form, looked into it very carefully. I thought, would it be good for Toastmasters? And you, Madam Toastmaster, Topics Master, proved that it does work. I would suggest, though, to our speaker that she would speed up a little bit and slow down a little bit. Take a chance. That's what I would say. Take a chance. Mind you, some of those topic pictures would have fooled me completely. I couldn't figure out the tent at all. But we wanted to hear the word glamping. And we wanted to hear that she went mad at glamping or hated glamping. But then it was quite difficult at the end. And my hat I take off to you when you got that empty battery icon. I had no idea. But listen, that was a great table topics. That was a great speaking table topics. You did wonderful. It was terrific. Well done.
Thank you, Jack. Our last speaker would be Colette. Colette, I'd give you a chance to get into that last slide. Let's see. Now, despite the hustle and bustle of this digital age, and despite the adversities we face, can you share an important life lesson with us? Hold on. There you go.
I just had a fakersation with a friend of mine who asked me to do a table topic about sharing a life lesson. I mean, it's all fake. Here's the life lesson. You see the little smiley face emojis? That's all we need in our life nowadays. Emojis unite people. They show us how to care for each other. When you send a smiley emoji, you light up children's lives. They want to send a hand emoji back. That's how powerful emojis are. It's not about life lessons. Don't listen to fakersations that your friends or table topics people talk about. Think of the flowers that surround you every day. Even in the winter, you'll find some flowers. Cyclamens are starting to bloom. And when all else fails, there is always a 4-leaf clover. Will help you get through your day. When your mobile phone isn't working and you can't access the emojis that we talked about, that's really all you need. It's just about having fun and enjoying your life. And at the end of the day, do you know what? I'm your VPA. You've got me. Look, I posed earlier for that photograph and I sent it on to our table topics monster, Ishrat, and she said, Colette, I will include it, but I want you to bring about a life lesson. Look, I was aging by the minute trying to think of it. So I just thought, you know, you just have to scrap that, Colette. Go back to your young self, Tiernan Og, and get modern, get the emojis on, and keep on going. Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Colette. Audrey, would you mind giving 1 minute evaluation to Toastmaster Colette for his speech?
Wow, Colette, that was amazing. You were like, I love your vibe. I love your humor. I love your positive energy. You managed to, like, you had a really nice flow, like moving from pictures to pictures. And I like your ending, bringing it back to the VPE, like reminding us your role. You also had, I was watching your facial expression, and you were also really very, you had like really nice facial expression showing like your enthusiasm. And it seems like it wasn't an impromptu speech, like you had something prepared already. And I really liked it.
Thank you, Audrey. Madam Timer, do we still have time for some more table topics questions?
Yes, we can have another couple, please.
Okay, well, this time it won't really be Pecha Kuchra style. Only 4 of those prepared. It will be classic questions. So who do I ask? Deck, is there a piece of technology that you are afraid of that might exist in the future? Would you like me to repeat?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Go on. It gives me time. Go on.
So that's me projecting you in a foreseeable future. Is there a piece of technology that you are afraid of that might exist in the future?
I'm not so much afraid of something that will happen in the future. I'm more concerned with technology that happened in the past. Did you know I am 156 years of age? And that's only my second life. In my first life, I was around when tiger moths were the thing. Now that was technology. Tiger moth, my goodness me, biplane, 2 wings, incredible. You stood out there and you got into the cockpit, the first cockpit. The second cockpit was for the passenger or for the gunner or for the guy who leaned forward and cleaned your goggles. When I first flew a tiger moth, I was terrified. You're talking about terrified of future technology. I was terrified of that technology. I got up there, I got in. They wiped my goggles. That's what they always do. They give me a drink of brandy. That's what they always do. They give the immortal words, don't crash this airplane. It's very valuable. With all that in mind, I got to the end of the runway. I leaned forward, I grabbed, no, it was down there. It was a joystick. It was amazing. Modern airplanes have gone on to joysticks again. This was fantastic. Joystick. I put the throttle forward, I put the throttle forward, I put the throttle forward, and there we were, bouncing along the runway. It got to V1, which was 30 miles an hour, V2, which was 60 miles an hour, V3. This is where we were to take off, and I forgot. Luckily, my man behind me leaned forward, tapped me on the shoulder and said, Deck, take off. And I did. So the lesson from all this, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests, don't be afraid of technology. I'm not afraid of technology. Just be afraid of tiger moths.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Like, you've had quite a life, haven't you? Well, Julian, would you mind giving Deck a 1-minute evaluation?
Yes, I would mind, because what a fantastic show we have seen here. The first thing he does, as all professional actors and singers, take whatever is not needed away, puts the seat out of the view, and he starts, he plays it, he's loving it. And because he's loving it, we are loving it as well. You could see a lot of rhetorical devices on his speech. I think, seriously, very entertaining, very engaging, and masterful. Difficult to point something to improve. Let me think. Difficult.
Thank you very much for each and every one of you who have participated in my table topics questions. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Table Topics Monster. That was fabulous and very, very terrifying. We will now go on to our evaluators to evaluate our prepared speeches. First up is Julian Cecerda, who is going to evaluate Mar Cano's speech, Eat, Drink, Live. Please welcome Julian.
There is no doubt that Mar knows how to tell a story. There is no doubt that Mar knows how to speak in front of the camera. And there is no doubt that Mar knows how to use pressure. Seriously, she's a master of first impressions. She's a master of digital skills. She's a master on rhetorical devices. Have you realized that it's only the title 3 verbs, very short, very punchy? Have you heard this expression? Tough, pretty tough, very tough. And every time she's making an emphasis, she gets closer to the camera. Wonderful, masterful, admirable. Now, Mar, there is no doubt that you are a monster in the digital arena. However, I felt that this speech was very personal. And by using all these gadgets, all this trickery, you were taking the audience attentions away from the message. I say that in this kind of messages, in this kind of speeches, in this kind of celebrations, when we remember people who were with us, we have to make our audience cry. And that's not because we are evil, but that's, I believe that when you show tears, is when the memories stick to you for the longer time. So my piece of advice is, if you want to connect with your audience, if you want to make your audience live the passion you have inside, forget about digital technology and go to what it works. Look at the camera and talk from the heart.
Excellent, Julian. That is some excellent feedback. I'm sure we can all learn from. Our next evaluator is Andrew Bennett, who will be evaluating Audrey Singh Phat's speech, Finding Your Why. Please welcome Andrew to the stage.
What is your Ikigai, your life value? Our speaker this evening, Audrey, has understood that a leadership style is based on core values. Some of hers were passion, mission, vocation, profession. She's an exciting emerging speaker. She already has an impressive set of skills for public speaking, and it was a pleasure to listen to her this evening. The first image we had was of Audrey with her paper plane. This is the first time she's delivered a standing up speech online. And I was very pleased to see that she began to use the space with purpose. It can be tricky to use the window that we have in an internet online presentation in a similar way to the way we would use the stage if we were in a room speaking to folks in person and had all that space around us. But I felt that Audrey did somehow link in very well to this. There was a little shuffling at the beginning of the speech, but this was soon resolved around the moment when she said, "You are the one," and came forwards. What I would like to suggest to Audrey to improve this presentation is that she actually rehearses on Zoom herself. So we log in into Zoom, we record the speech, and we can just check those moments when, if we're coming towards camera, we don't want to chop off the top of our heads as we go. So that's a little tip to practice and rehearse on Zoom our delivery ready for the meeting. There was use also of this, and here we come. This was the paper sign. Now, I am seeing lots of paper signs around Toastmasters over the last 2 years. I think it happened because Toastmaster Linda gave a speech in the international contest, and people have gathered that this is an interesting way of getting the message across. But we're here in digital communicators. So I would also suggest the use of a digital tool, please, to produce the words, or a slide of some sort, to produce the words that she would like to give to us. In summary, I find that we've got an exciting emerging speaker. She's understood the basic core values of key leadership. And with those core values, Audrey's paper plane can take off, because the sky is the limit.
Excellent, Andrew. Thank you so much. And again, some fabulous tips that we can all use when preparing our speeches. Our next evaluator is Nick Lakhani, and he will be evaluating Kluski's speech, Cabernet Sauvignon. Nick, the floor is yours. Please welcome Nick.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Deck's speech was quiet at the beginning. He crept onto screen and he started off telling us about a diversity warning, about humor across cultures and so on. I want to talk more about that in a minute. What I liked from Deck's speech, first of all, this is a contest speech, the humorous contest. And what I loved was the visuals and the lines that he gave us. So for example, the one-liners that he had, I fall down a lot, okay, great. And then he says, well, actually, I don't drink that much. I spill more, or I spill a lot of it. That was funny. There was some, and again, very lot, the Thunderwall, Wonderwall, nice. Police cars, if you don't like traveling fast, don't do it, okay? So there was an absolute, oh, naked twister, and I love you to the policeman. So I love those lines. Now, what I would suggest is that the opening, I would just ask yourself, is that really where you want to start? But also the diversity warning. One thing that I believe is that if it's comedy, it's assumed that people are going to get offended. There are going to be people who are going to get offended. So I don't know whether you just do a blanket, very simple one, but don't make it so. I think we just need, you just need to look at that on there. When you did lose your way once, you said, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking rubbish. Well, no, if you hadn't have highlighted to us, most of us wouldn't have realized that you got that word wrong. Okay, don't apologize in Toastmasters. And in terms of the project, yes, you are exploring your own humor, you are delivering it well. And for the humorous contest, the one thing I would suggest is, do you really want to bring that turn? Do you really want to bring it so that these are the after effects? Yes, the Cabernet Sauvignon is like a drug. It's drink, it's drugs, it's Toastmasters. There's enough humor in there to keep it humorous. So in summary, I love the lines, love the sentiment, suggest review the opening, don't apologize, and most of all, I love the timing. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Excellent, Mick. Thank you so much. I now call Colette for another timers report. Colette?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters. Here is the evaluation timing report. Julian Sarasada, 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Andrew Bennett, 2 minutes and 26 seconds. And Nick Lakhani, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's here we had a fakersation because that's a mistake I made. I'm not allowed to say I'm sorry, but as our president tells us, but I put the red up at 2 minutes and I shouldn't have. Tech horror story, it's all about me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Colette. And now it's time for our grammarian report. So please welcome back Antonia. Antonia.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. The only person who managed to use fakeisation was Colette, and she used it once, twice, 3 times. So well done to Colette. Ma used even stones seem to be yummy, and a pinch of magic powder in her grandmother's tortilla, cheese, Spanish ham, and olives. Lots of picture painting there. And I don't know what the term is for this, but tough, pretty tough, very tough. Audrey, Ikigai, passion, mission, vocation, and profession. Deck, surreal, sensuous sophistication. He wants to play naked twister with strangers and telling police that he loves them. And he talked about persistent pernicious disease. Andrew, with his pumpkins, made us jump, and his big orange blotchy spots. Wasn't that wonderful? And what else? And of course, Colette loved the 4-leaf clover. I mean, wasn't that perfect timing that she got that one? And talking about aging by the minute. Colette's never going to age, let's face it. Her emojis will keep her going. And Julian talked in his evaluation, he used, there is no doubt, 3 times, and she is a master 3 times. Again, I don't know what that term is, but it's a good use of a good term to use in evaluation. And he said that Ma was a master in the digital arena. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Antonia. Next, we are going to have an open general evaluation. Our general evaluator had to leave. So I would love to ask all of you to contribute to recommendations and commendations of the prepared speeches. So I would love some support from my fellow Toastmasters on how I can best manage this role. Nick, I see you're unmuted already.
Yeah, perhaps you want to have suggestions and commendations for evaluators and role players, the people who haven't already been evaluated first.
Perfect. That sounds great. And do I just call on people, or how do people volunteer?
Well, yeah, you can call on people, but let me give you one piece of feedback. I thought as Toastmaster of the Day, the theme was one really original. It was funny. It was very nice, and you introduced it very well, and also it made us think a little bit as well. So I commend you on that.
Thank you. Yes, Colette.
I would also like to follow on from what our President Nick has said. And as VPE, I was working closely with Hilary on this meeting. And I must say, she has worked so hard to bring this meeting together tonight. And it's her first time to take on that big role in the club. And it was particularly daunting because there were a lot of roles that right up to the last minute were not filled. So I really think, Hilary, you just nailed it, and very well done. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, Julian.
Okay, you already got the carrot. I will give you the stick. No, seriously, I would like to propose you that the introductions are shorter and straight to the point. It might work in the physical meeting when you build the speakers, but here in the online environment, I do believe, and this is my personal opinion, that presentations need to be very boom, 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 talk to the point, 1, 2 sentences, and go swiftly to the speaker. Unless you have somebody that is speaking for the whole length of the speech, Aquilo, then you can build him up. But otherwise, because we are a lot of people, a lot of roles, my take on this is try to be, as a Toastmaster, as short, as quick, and as direct as possible.
Excellent. Thank you. Any other open feedback, recommendations, commendations people want to share with the evaluators and the roles? I see you, Nick.
Yes, the two evaluators came before me were wonderful. We were energized with their words and with the vivid language they used. And I thought that they had some very good suggestions. And how else could I get them to improve? Andrew, sort out your green screen. And Julian, sort out the background noise. Apart from that, no other recommendations for you.
Excellent. Thank you, Nick. Anybody else would like to share their, yes.
I would like to congratulate Marcano because despite having problems with the timing, and this is for everybody. We should aim, and this, I know that is difficult, but we should aim to avoid sharing our screen on Zoom. The reason for this is because it kills the flow of the meeting. It takes a couple of seconds to load in your audience screen, and that can be dreadful. That can really kill the flow of the meeting. Colette, I want to ask you something. What did you learn today?
Not to share the screen unless I have my green screen. But you see, I'm not in my normal house today, so I don't have my green screen here, which caused me problems, as you all witnessed. It was a tech horror story. I lived the Halloween theme. But it was fun.
May I share something?
Yes, Mar.
I was part of that horror story, and I hope I just took it. I was not sure whether to mention something or not when I was delivering my speech, but then I tried to fit it there. Like, okay, so let's see if I can do it smoothly. But it was a bit distracting for me, yeah, to get those moments happening. But don't worry, Colette, I'm gonna forgive you for that. We can all have those horror or terrific nightmares in our meetings, so that was okay.
I've got a commendation for Ishrat. She had 4 or 5 of the Pecha Kucha pictures. These are the kind of things that we want our table topics masters to do every time. Have a go at Prezi and have a go at not sharing the screen, and just show it, you know, either yourself with parts of the screen, or in the case of Ishrat today, cover the whole screen with pictures. So these are kind of experiments that we can try here. And one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to have some tech tips as of next meeting and onwards. And these are little things like this will be shared for you to try and have a go at it. Thank you.
Excellent, Nick. And Audrey, did you have feedback you wanted to share?
I wanted to share that, yeah, this was my first time with Pikachuka style table topics, and I really, this was amazing. Like usually table topic is scary, but this one it's more scary. Like, but like you guys did it so well. You had like a good flow, and this is really amazing. Good job, guys.
So, you know, next time you offer yourself volunteer to take one. Israel.
Yeah. Okay.
It goes to Julian, because Julian shared an email, and he shared tips on how to go about doing that Pecha Kucha style of table topic. So thank you, Julian.
On the next meeting, I think we are heavy loaded on Prezi video. So, well, we'll have to wait 2 weeks.
Excellent. And then I do also want to thank Ishrat for really taking on the theme of the meeting and turning into Table Topics Monster. I think that was an absolutely fabulous twist. So thank you. And yes, Table Topics was truly terrifying. So fabulous.
The really good thing from the table topics and the speeches was that our grammarian was able to pick up a lot of really good language Very interesting. And so thank you for the report for that, Antonia. And thank you to our timer as well. Yeah, well done to the speakers.
Excellent. And then we'll have Mar and then Julian for our last two open evaluations. Mar?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to congratulate Antonia as well for the great job that you've done, Antonia, just picking up, you know, as Nick just mentioned, those great words, yeah, and expressions from many of us. And I'm sorry, but the word of the day today was super challenging. I would challenge everyone to use it even in the chat, or, you know, I don't know, voice messages, something that we can share and try and see if we can use it at some point, because it's you know, it's been a challenging word, but why not giving it, you know, a try during the next weeks, the coming weeks till the next meeting? Why not? So thank you for that challenge, Antonia.
While Antonia has given you the carrot, I will give you the stick. What happened there when you were trying to share the screen and you were panicking, trying to figure out which button you had to press? And Beck came up with a solution that I thought it was masterful. I mean, you know that he's been a long time on the road, on the stage. I know. Say it aloud. What I want to say with this is, if something goes wrong with technology, and there will be plenty of times that something goes wrong, have a plan B. Say it aloud.
The word was there at the beginning of the meeting. It was ready to be shared. I don't know where it went. I just wanted to show it to you because it's an unusual word. That's all.
I warned all of you that there would be tech glitches during this meeting just because of the topic we chose. So with that, I just want to leave you with this quote: technology is a useful servant, but a dangerous master. Thank you so much. And Nick, back to you.
Thank you very much, Hilary. Fabulous meeting run by Hilary today. Wonderful start and end. And also what I'm really glad about is you did your homework, you prepared, and you had a lot of things for us. Appreciate that. Thank you. Wonderful meeting today. Again, we had a very good, energetic meeting. I think that there's a few notices I need to actually mention first before I forget. First of all, we have our humorous speech contest and table topics contest at area level. And that is on Saturday, the 23rd of October. So a week on Saturday. And I'm sure that Howard is still looking for people to help as judges. All right. If we don't get our judges in, our people don't win. Please just. Shouldn't have said that. No, I'm just kidding. We need to have a representatives. We need to have our own representatives as judges, but also as other role players, and also to support Andrew and Kavitha. Yes, Dave.
Just thought, would it be nice to just do a little tiny pressy on the executive board meeting we had?
Yes, if you can remember what we did.
No, just off the top of your head.
Okay, off the top of my head, we had a meeting today. We had an executive board meeting. We had reports from all the officers. And one of the things that we did was we discussed the idea of having the tech training, of which the next session is going to be Thursday, the 28th of October, which is going to be on high-performing teams and running high-performing events. One of the things that we're going to continue to do until we had more time to discuss is to actually ask the people running the workshop if they wanted to be made available on YouTube. And so that's a very good point on there. We went through a revised budget, and and this will be presented to the club in the near future at a properly held meeting. And also, big news, we have given the go-ahead in principle for a wonderful big online event led by Andrew and Colette. And it's about a production, a very, very special event production. After we close the recording, we can actually chat a bit more about that, or at least we will send it out. We will send out some more information soon. But it looks like it's going to be just before Christmas, around about the 13th of December at the moment. But we want to make sure that we get as many people to that meeting as possible. That little buzzer tells me it's time to close the meeting. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. Thank you all for coming. Great energy today. Let's keep it going. We're in October now. We've had a couple of really big events in September. Let's push on now and let's start doing more of the tech tips and let's start using more of the tech. That's it. You're all members, so therefore there's no need for a membership room today. Hillary, I hope I didn't scare your friend off.
No, I think she had to leave earlier anyways. She texted me that she couldn't stay till 20,
Right.
but maybe you scared her off. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
No.
Not every meeting has a Nick. So now what we're going to do, unless anybody's got any other things going on, we are still I noticed live on YouTube. So unless we've got any